I really should have watched that first. I didn't realize how bad that was. There was a different Christmas one.
I thought it was cute.
No, it's a different Christmas one that I intended to use. And then I clicked the wrong one. I was like, well, fuck it. And I really regretted it. Hi, hello, and good evening. It's December 20th, and we have a lot to talk about. Because we never covered the finale of Survivor 41. We never covered the finale of the Challenge 37. So we're going to do it all tonight. We're super excited. Let's go. All right, so Survivor. Where do we start here? I guess we had 5, right? We started with 5 that night. It was Ricard, Xander, Erica, Deshawn, and Heather. Heather.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So how did we land? How did this whole thing start? Who has notes? They were moved to a shelter. They moved to a separate island. They had no shelter, and they had meager supplies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This was it like the first night too, or like, I know it's a while ago now, so it was like not a good like it was not a good night to not have shelter. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah.
It
really
says they withstood
night, right?
a rainy night. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, they did.
I remember it because like I like in my brain I like forgot for a second that they started totally over, didn't have anything, and I'm like, why are they all out in the rain?
Yeah.
That was part of it. Via tree mail, they received the word scramble puzzle. That gave provided a hint to the advantage, and that was found by Miss Erica. Okay. This word scramble I never would have gotten on my own.
Oh no way. And like Xander finished it. I mean, they edited it, sure, but like it looked like he did it so quickly. I was like, how on earth do you know what this says?
Right. Crazy. This gave Erica an advantage, which allowed her to have a couple of runs done on the immunity challenge, right?
Yeah.
Well, the first one anyway. Yeah, okay, so blah 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 blah. So she won. I just feel like all this stuff almost doesn't matter because like it's not even part of the end game. Yeah. But okay. So she was allowed to take one person on the food reward, and she chose Heather, because that relationship had been soured due to the Deshawn truth bomb at the prior tribal council. I'm getting text messages. Because everybody wants to know how I'm doing. How are you doing? How are you doing? That's all we answer all day long. How are you doing?
People care.
No, I know. But I feel like I need to start the day with like, how do I feel today? And a copy and paste response. Because it does get to be a lot.
Yeah.
But okay. So she took Heather for the food. They made up, and that was a very nice moment. Hooray for Eric and Heather and their friendship. We cheer, we stand. Yeah. Obviously, we made we all came to the consensus that Ricard had to go. Which, duh. If he wasn't going to win immunity, you had to get him out. As much as I like him.
Yeah.
I know. That was where my note that I texted you of Xander's hurting my feelings.
Yeah.
I did not want to see him be a casualty, but like I guess.
Yeah. No, I get it. If they had any chance of winning, he had to go. Because I definitely think that had he made it to final 3, I think it would have been his.
Yeah. It's interesting too, because we were wondering, I think at one point, whether that idol that Xander had would be in play or not. If it would even be allowed to be used still, because they were going to this new island and it's in the final stage of the game now, and it turned out he was able to actually use it. But did you guys think he was going to use it on Ricard at all?
No.
I honestly for a minute did, but like I also made a note of, and like I made this note here, which like aged very well, good job me. But I was like, I don't know why he told Ricard he might use it on him. Like, just keep that to yourself. If you're like mulling it over and you're not 100% positive you're gonna do it, don't tell him.
Right.
Like poor jury like I think that screwed him. Like poor jury management. Don't say, yeah, I'm totally gonna save you. It'll be fine. Like you'll be good to go, and then just don't do it.
Yeah. I think that's. I was reading a lot about that on the socials too, because it just all came off very performative. it definitely gave me Tyler and All Stars vibes.
Yes.
Not as bad. Not as bad. Okay, because I definitely think Tyler was far more offensive. But
1,000%. But
yeah,
that energy.
Yes. So he doesn't use it for a card, clearly. And the card leaves us. Fine. So then what happened next?
The next immunity
we
challenge.
had the next immunity challenge. Oh, right. This curved balance beam thing with the string and oh my goodness gracious.
I didn't breathe the entire time.
Yeah, that was a tough watch. Yeah. I couldn't breathe either. And I don't usually get that invested in my competitions like that.
I was stressed.
Right. Yeah, this one was really crazy. But Xander took it.
He did really well too. I mean,
he did fantastic.
I don't think he dropped. I mean, who knows, with the editing, but I don't think he dropped once. Everybody else dropped at least a couple of times. It seemed like he seemed like he was just, so solid the whole way through.
Yeah, I don't remember either, but I don't believe he did. But
if he did, it was like the first block the first time.
Yeah, it must have been super early. So he won that. Obviously, now guaranteed to go into final 3. He got to now bring somebody with him.
Yeah.
He chose Erica.
What did you think of his reasoning?
I understood it, but I didn't think it was strong enough. I think the bottom line is you just thought you played a better game than her. I think that's just how it ends. I understand the whole thing. I didn't want her to have a flashy moment and that tipped the scales. I don't know that making one fire is flashy moment enough.
Yeah, I didn't really
again, as someone who had never watched Survivor before, that for me, I was like, I don't fully understand this, but I also don't really know how Survivor usually goes. So maybe that is a big deal, and I just don't know that.
Right, and I can echo that. I don't know if that was going to be a big enough thing or not. He certainly seemed to think that it was, and when they were in that final tribal and they were talking to the jury, he said it, and people nodded.
Yeah.
As if they understood it. Clearly not enough, but so there was that. So that left Heather and Deshawn to make fire.
Again, though, here is where I think Xander maybe slipped up a little bit because he flat out told Erica he was taking her before watching anybody try to make fire. And then as it turns out, Erica can't make fire.
Yeah.
So why did you tell her you were taking her before evaluating all of your options?
Right.
Because then if he would have changed his mind, that would have screwed him too.
Yeah.
I don't know that it would have. Well, because didn't he also make a comment when he was talking about all that stuff? I think you should practice making fire just in case. I feel like I remember
he did say that, but
he kind of floated the idea that it may not stick. I just think it shouldn't have stuck.
Yeah.
Oh
man, because it's wild. Do you think in your mind, if you were in Xander's spot, do you have any one person that sticks out that you're like, I would have definitely brought that person?
Heather.
Right. That's what I thought too. Because then you have Erica and Deshawn competing for it, right? Erica can make that would have been for sure his best route.
Absolutely. Yeah. There is absolutely no argument that Heather can make as far as why she should win the game.
Yeah.
Unless people really hated the other two options and liked Heather, she doesn't really have any leg to stand on here.
Right. Which is why she still was the best option.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like she only would have gotten those votes if there was no one else. Why wouldn't you want to sit next to that person? And then just let Deshawn and Erica figure it out. If you ended up with Erica, then at least you didn't bring her. You know?
What did you think of Xander saying that he wanted to end up in the final 3 with Heather and Erica because he felt like they were basically the same player? That's what he said. I didn't really like it. And I felt
that what he said?
He said that at one point. And I didn't really understand it, and I didn't like it because I felt like it's really selling Erica short here in this game. She has won immunity before. She has made big decisions in in certain times of the game. I feel like just to kind of compare her to someone that literally pretty much won nothing the whole season. It's really a disservice to Erica.
I don't remember him saying that.
Yeah.
I don't remember him saying that either, but I mean, to speak to it, you don't really know the moves that somebody made. Like, we're coming from a different point of view.
Yeah,
He
that's
was
fair.
not somebody who ever really played with Erica, so he wouldn't really know anything she did. But to the same point, wouldn't really know what Heather did either. So I don't know. I never really saw like Xander and Erica like really, really working together. I think because of the game that Erica played, I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Like I don't really have like super strong feelings, but like I don't know, because of the game that Erica played, I almost feel as if she did such a good job of flying under the radar. It almost speaks to how well she played it that he thinks she was similar in gameplay to Heather.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point. I think the reason I'm thinking this way is because I feel like a lot of Erica's like under the radar moments came when the tribes were still like separated, and I feel like when she started making like the hourglass decision, and then she won her immunity, and and she's made some of these other moves and other decisions, I felt like that was where the tribes were kind of more combined, because that affected everybody, right? That hourglass decision that affected everybody in the game.
Yes, but can I just interject on the hourglass thing? I think it's ridiculous that anybody is making that as if she made such a big move with this hourglass thing. All right, there isn't a person in the game that would not have done the hourglass thing if presented with it in the position that she was in. Like, it was like, smash this and you are safe. Don't smash it and you're not. And you're on exile. So like, you don't smash it and you're not safe. You're almost guaranteed to go because like these people aren't even talking to you anymore. Like, I don't think that qualified. It was a built-in twist that she had no choice but to do. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I guess I just feel like if you're in the game and you make it all the way to the end, and especially if you win it, like any time that you had a big impact on the game, I feel like is a point that you can kind of bring up on your resume. And I feel like, who knows? I mean, I feel like I could see certain situations where someone might be nervous to smash the hourglass and make a whole bunch of people back at camp angry because they just won and were safe and were getting food and now they're not. I'd be a little nervous about like reversing that decision. You know what I mean? And I feel like
get that. I agree.
She chose to do it, and I just felt like I almost liken it to like in Big Brother. If you randomly are given like a power or something because America decided they wanted to vote for you or something like that, like I feel like any time that you're in this game and like you're making an impact on it, I feel like that's like worth bringing up in my mind.
Yes, but I think it's worth bringing up. I would just be the one to contest it and say that I don't think you get any points for that. A Big Brother twist that you execute correctly, I think, is a win. And if America gave it to you, that means you did something well enough and people, you have a strong enough social game that people think enough of you to give you something. This was just built in. Would have happened to anybody who just drew the bad rock and then like, and it was just like, safe if you do, not safe if you don't.
I don't remember because it came down to
Zippo
two people.
Strategy there.
Yeah, it came down to two people, and they chose to send Erica. And I don't remember who the other person was. But
because they hated her. Well, not hated her, but like they didn't value her. Because I remember even in that episode, we made the comment that she is the one who caused all this chaos. But she sat at that tribal, just sitting by herself as everybody went off, making all these comments and still not speaking to her. So she wasn't really like in a power position in that moment. It's not like she made this boss bitch move.
Well, so I also, and I'm sure we're going to get into this like later on too. I have a problem with the editors of this season because like all we really can talk about is the hourglass thing because prior to the merge, Erica did not exist.
Right.
Like she was never seen in the edit. And even after that, she was barely seen in the edit. And given the way that we know the season turns out, as the editing team crafting this narrative, how are you not showing us more of what she's doing?
Right.
How are we not able to sit here and be like, she did this, she did this. We know how it turns out, but we can't justify it because we didn't see anything she did.
Right.
And they were giving somebody else, and they were giving somebody else the winner's edit who didn't take it. Like,
right. I think as I think back, I'm pretty sure that like the very first thing I ever said about Erica was that, "Hey, Bobby."
Hi, Bobby.
I think the very first like comment I ever made about Erica, I'm pretty sure she was like complaining that Sydney was having trouble making fire and Sydney got frustrated. And I was like, why is this girl be like so annoyed that this person's frustrated over making fire? And that was like the first thing I ever had nothing to do like really with actual gameplay.
We were like a couple of weeks in and somebody was talking about Erica and I remember us being like, which one's Erica? Because we just never saw her.
Right. Terrible.
Like I don't know if that was like production's way of trying to do a bait and switch, but it wasn't a good one.
Yeah. I feel like these tribes, like, yeah, there's a lot of people overall on the show, right? But what did we have this year? 3 tribes of 6 people, right? In each tribe, like,
yeah,
they have all these little, separate segments showing each tribe at their camp or whatever. Like, there's only 6 people there. Like, there's got to be a better way for you to like introduce everybody. We should be able, by the end of this show, we should know everybody. Like,
yeah.
Like the only little defense that I'll throw into that is that Erica was on that Luvu tribe in the very, very beginning, and they were never going to tribal or anything. So like there wasn't a lot of reason to get to know a lot, like any of them.
Yeah.
Because I think that was true of a lot of people like on Luvu. Like we didn't know much of Heather. And because they weren't really playing the game. Like they would go to the challenge and win, and then
they were done.
They weren't involved.
I guess that's fair.
But everything after the hourglass, I mean, we still didn't see much of her.
Yeah.
Like, she was very, very like forgotten.
She got like a little confessional every once in a while. But it was like, honestly, it was the Xander show all season.
Yeah, and Ricard.
Yeah. And Shan.
Yeah. until we lost her.
Right.
Yeah. So Deshawn and Heather had to make fire. I was really rooting for Heather, and I thought she was going to take it.
That was another one. I don't think I breathed the entire time.
Yeah, I was
that was wild to watch.
So disappointed that.
And I like watching it. I was like, I don't understand how her rope isn't breaking. Like I feel like the fire was on there the entire time, and his was just like boop done. I was like, how is she still doing this?
I think the wind really worked against her because I watched that twice, and like the wind was just blowing her flames all over the place. Like it was high enough, but it just wasn't hitting it enough. Really unfortunate. And like when it was never quite in the same spot.
Right.
And like if it was all just burning in that one spot, she totally would have won that. But yeah, Mother Nature fucked her.
And hers broke like a second or two later too. Like it was a close race.
I was so upset. It was very upsetting.
Oh man, Heather, great job though. She did a great job. Yeah.
I mean, so that left us with Deshawn, Erica, and Xander. Now at the end, what did you think of the jury questioning?
It was very intense.
Yeah, this is the first time you're seeing like a Survivor jury.
Before we even get into that, like even before the fire thing, there was that moment where like Xander was talking about his reads on the game and why he was choosing who he was going to send into fire, like in front of the jury.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they actually say like bad read?
Yeah, I literally wrote down like Xander, please stop talking, because he just kept going and just digging himself deeper and deeper. I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Right, because he made some comments about how Heather is like Heather's the GOAT and like people don't take her seriously and all this other stuff, and it's like, oh, this is so uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
This is terrible. Yeah.
He also talked about something like, I don't think the jury respects this person's game or something like that. And I'm like, you have no way of actually knowing that.
Yeah. The entire jury was like, what is he talking about?
Yeah. Like he made this, he tried to like make it seem like he had the read on everything. It's like, just deal in the facts, man.
I don't know if
he facts.
I don't know if he was trying to like reverse psychology them into being like, you know what? I don't respect this person's game, or like like if that was what he genuinely thought, or if he was trying to like make them think that. I don't know what was happening there.
Unfortunately, what I think that was him going too far and assuming that this is what people think, and he was trying to make it sound like he was above that and he was a little bit better than it, and it's like, oh, I am assuming that because you are this age, people think this of you. So I'm going to be a little performative. And I'm going to now say, I don't see you that way, though, because I'm nice. And it's like, but what you've actually done is highlighted the fact that you are kind of like prejudging and stereotyping her in a way. Yeah. And like in a way that other people weren't. So like it was just very cringy.
Yeah. It was awkward.
Rough. It was rough.
Yeah, it was
awkward.
It was a mess.
Yeah. It was just bizarre to me too. I don't know. I don't know. The whole thing was strange. I just wasn't expecting certain things, the way he phrased certain things. I just thought he was much better at communicating and like.
The more he was talking, I was like, stop. Please stop.
Right.
Stop.
Like
you lost.
I felt
now.
And I wonder if it had to do. I really think that when he won that last immunity challenge, it just went to his head. I think that once he won that challenge, he felt like it was his, like he had it in the bag now. Like it almost doesn't really matter what I do now. I think that's what he thought. Whereas if he had just lost that immunity challenge and then he had to be the one to make the fire, I think it might have been a totally different thing where he's earning the right to get into the final 3. Maybe he's not the one making this decision, making all these weird comments. That might have been the worst thing that could have happened to him, was winning that immunity challenge.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I really enjoyed Shan's questioning of Deshawn. Because I absolutely do believe that was part of it. I do believe that we were leaning on the entire BLM movement and everything that's going on here to kind of steer people into like not voting him out and doing whatever and making it look like he was one certain person and like not. Which is why let's leave it there. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'll be very happy when we're not talking about this stuff anymore. Okay. Just saying, as a Black person, I'm watching these things to not think about that stuff. All right. I don't want that injected in my social game. I just want to see people eating rice or not eating rice. And like either brushing their teeth or not brushing their teeth. Come to find out on Australian Survivor, they give them charcoal. They're giving them charcoal for their teeth.
Interesting.
Okay. I love that this has been like a through line throughout the entire season.
Because it's just
ridiculous. It's big enough that we need to travel to new continents to get more answers.
I am going to find out what's going on in people's teeth. If I have to go to Australia, I understand that Survivor New Zealand is also on Paramount Plus, and I'll be going over there shortly to find out what they do with their teeth.
If any former Survivor players want to come on and tell us the toothbrushing situation, we would be eternally grateful. Thank you.
Well, hopefully we will actually get that answer. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I would love to. I need to know. I really need to. Hot button issue. Okay. But yeah, I'll be excited when we're not doing that anymore. I just want to play the game. And for all the reasons that Shan mentioned there, it's like, what am I supposed? I'm supposed to be playing a game. I don't want to be thinking about, am I eliminating somebody for the wrong reason because now I'm disrespecting the culture? Like if I'm playing Uno, I'm not going to not hit you with a draw 2 just because you're Black. I want to win. So if you're in the way, I have to stop you. So I was very happy that Shan brought all that up. Yeah. And the look on his face afterwards, like I felt for him. And this is why, all right, what did you think about this after show thing? Like, I thought it was terrible. Well, because these people either somebody just won $1 million or the other 2 people have not even processed the fact that they just lost.
Yeah.
Right.
And on top of that, you can see Deshawn's, while I did not enjoy him, I can see his mind turning very, very similar to how Mickey looked when he left and Julie had said to him, like, the world sees you this way. And he's like, what? And he's like, he couldn't even enjoy this moment. Like, these people just finished this game and they just found out they lost. Shan hit him with questions like that. Of course, your mind is like running of like how
he looked like he would rather be in literally any other place but that place. Like, let me go anywhere else.
Yes, and I thought it was a very unfair thing to leave him there. And like that, to do that to those people and like, would you like champagne and pizza? Of course not. I'm still processing whether or not like I'm good when I get home. I don't know. It's like a really weird thing.
Because, and that's what you just said too. Like, that really is so big. Like, I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to be good when I go home. Because these people come, especially on Survivor. You're traveling to some deserted island. You know how much you miss home? And now you're finally able to go back. And now you're worried that, oh, crap, is what I did on this show going to affect when I go home?
Right. And how would you not be worried? The Black pastor that you had such a large hand in eliminating just asked you a question like that, which means her mind is there, which means where is it going to be like for anybody else? I mean, it's something that I had thought like myself, but that doesn't mean he doesn't need to be sitting there thinking about that in that moment. We don't need to watch that moment. That's a private moment. Like, I don't know, like that. This after show thing was really weird to me. Yeah, super uncomfy.
And then also from like a very lesser standpoint, it's like everyone just got off of the show, so everyone only knows how much information they've had the entire time, so they haven't gotten to like watch it back to see all the stuff they don't know yet. So what are you even talking about? There's nothing you can really discuss because we don't know anything that we don't know.
Right.
So like what's the point of even having it then? Like I'm sure it was for COVID reasons, but it's like there's nothing that you can really talk about other than everything we already saw.
Yes, everything we just saw. Nobody had a chance to like even commiserate with each other. Like they're just all just sitting there. Yeah, like really weird. And honestly, I also miss not being able to see some of the people who went out like pre-jury. Like I always get such a kick out of seeing people all cleaned up and nice clothes on now. And like, and I like that we have these moments where people can hug and like say hi and hello. And you know, we missed it.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I also got really because like we haven't even finished talking about like the finale piece of this yet, but like so much of the jury questioning and the reason why it seems like no one really gave Xander his credit is because they were making it like, oh, you're the young kid that didn't have the social awareness in this game to really understand what was happening and you didn't really like know what you were doing. And then the entire recap was like, and then Xander had the fake idol and then Xander knew that this was happening. And like the entire after show was them talking about Xander's really great social awareness in the game. So it's like, what? I don't understand what criteria you were voting on if you're going to say he had no social awareness and then spend the next hour talking about how good of a game player he was.
And somebody try to give an example of good social awareness should not be Liana. Okay. Because she tried to say, what I mean by social awareness is that I had good social awareness because I did the knowledge is power. Yeah, you did it and you did it wrong. You
right. The social awareness was that he skirted the knowledge is power.
Exactly.
And tricked you. Like you got.
Like you were clearly unaware, Liana.
Yes.
You were not aware of what was happening.
Very unaware. And like, can't somebody make the argument that like this person, so you're saying that he's not socially aware, but he knew that this was going on and he built up relationships that were strong enough where he could actually give not one, but two advantages to somebody else in such a high pressure moment like that and trust them enough to get it back.
Yeah.
How is that not being social aware? And how is that not having like a strong
and
social
like have
game?
enough of like a presence in it that she was looking at him like, do I use it? Do I use that? Like, should I?
Yeah.
Like, I have this, but like, should I do this? Like,
yeah, that's crazy to me. It's crazy.
That's really wild. Not a single vote.
Yeah, you in particular were very upset about the not a single vote. My phone was blowing up.
Listen.
You were more upset than me, and I changed my name to him.
I'm not, because I just don't understand it. Like, I'm not even upset about Erica winning. I liked Erica on the show,
right.
and I thought that she did, enough to win. But like, she was there at the end, so she had just as good of a chance as the other two to win. But I just feel like for someone like Xander who had as much of an impact and won as many challenges as he did and found as many advantages as he did, for him to be there in the end and not get a single vote from anyone is just ridiculous. So weird to me and bizarre.
I knew his downfall was going to be bitter jury, but I didn't think it would be so bad that not one person would say, he really played the hell out of this game.
Exactly.
Does anyone know who the one descending person was, though, that gave Deshaun a vote?
I don't think I saw it.
We didn't see it, but everyone that I hear talking about it is assuming it's Danny, but I don't know if there's actual like credit to that.
I can't even.
Because then there was a moment even in the jury questioning, I think, that like Danny was speaking against Deshaun's game, or I don't remember.
That's what I thought too.
Or like for Erica, something like that. I don't remember. But I don't know who would. I don't know who would.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, that bothers me more than the washout of Xander. Like if this was a complete, like Erica got everything and everybody else got zero, I'm not happy with that. I'm not saying that's cool either. But like the fact that anybody thought Deshaun deserved a vote over either of them is just like absurd to me.
Maybe it was the fire thing. That's what Xander was worried about, a flashy moment in the fire competition. Just
you know what? Maybe it was.
I have no
idea. Because what else did he do other than that?
Pissed people off.
Yeah, like a lot.
Like we have spent so much time talking about how chaotic he was. Like,
yeah. And like that's the thing. Like Deshaun was pissing people off the whole season. Like we've talked about how cringy Xander's comments were in this finale, but like it's a few dumb statements when your head is full because you just won the last immunity challenge and you're in the final 3. Like,
no, Deshaun's been annoying people since Go. So like I don't know. I feel like he was always fighting with all of his alliance members. He was always the one who's saying we need to throw this so we can get rid of this person. The only thing that I think that he ever did correctly was, at least from my knowledge, he was the first person to mention we need to get Erica out. I don't remember anyone saying that before he did, and so clearly he did at least see something in her that even production didn't feel like we needed to see. Because I was like, what? I remember thinking, Erica? I said, well, what did she do? So maybe he saw something. That's it.
I don't know. I think it had to have been Danny that gave the vote to Deshaun, because I feel like they got very close at the end, right before Danny left, and he even told him the secret.
I mean, they were close from the jump too. Like, I remember in the first episode, they were the two that like went off searching for idols together when they were supposed to be doing the water thing.
The water thing, yeah.
They were definitely close the whole time, but I felt like their bond got stronger even all the way towards the end, and we saw like Danny reveal to Deshaun that like his secret of like, oh, I played for the Dallas Cowboys and this and that, and like he didn't tell anybody else. And then actually after Danny got sent home, he like turned around, like winked at Deshaun and went like, "Go Cowboys," and like walked out. You know what I mean? Like there was definitely like definitely more of just like we're competing on this show together and we're spending a lot of time together, so we're tight. Like I felt like there was
Danny's the only one that makes sense for me.
Yeah.
I guess it's just crazy. Right?
Oh, the other thing that I had written down from like jury questioning was like Ricard's moment in this, because he came out of the gate like, so were you lying to me the entire game? Why did you take Erica and why didn't you take me? Like, I was just curious what we felt about that, because he was very much like, you took Erica and not me, so were you lying the whole time?
To me, that was him just throwing a temper tantrum and just like being ridiculous. Like lying the whole time.
I was like,
about
I don't know if there's like merit to this or not.
Yeah, stop. We're playing a game. Did anybody listen? After what you did to Shan?
Exactly.
Like, how dare you? How dare you? Like, yeah, no,
like,
I didn't enjoy that. No, I didn't like that.
You're so right. Like you
way
pulled,
off base.
Yeah, you pulled the biggest backstab against your biggest ally and friend in the game. Now you're pissed that somebody just got you out. Like,
yes, and I get it. You're pissed because someone did it to you. But like, let's just be honest about what's going on here, okay? You know, you're mad because somebody treated you as poorly as you treated others. And somebody who you were aligned with from literally Go. This doesn't mean that we don't like Ricard, though. We still love Ricard.
No, I love Ricard.
Okay, all right.
I wanted to see him in that final 3 real bad. Xander hurt
I still fancy myself as one of his papayas. So no, like I still love him. But no.
Great. I saw
he
posted.
Mad.
I saw he posted that like hoodie that he was wearing on the show.
Yeah, I tried to order it. I'm too fat. So bummed. I was like, "What do you mean? Oh, you're 2X." And then I even was reading in the comments to see if people said that, you know, it fits very large. I was hoping, but no, everybody said it's pretty true to size. So, oh well. I won't have a Ricard hoodie. Sads.
Sorry.
Whatever. I mean, I'm only one size off from what I used to be. So, like, no. I mean, she's still winning. No, it's fine. That's all I have for Survivor, unless somebody had.
That's the only notable stuff I had. Like, I had a lot of notes, but none of them mattered.
Yeah.
Well, because this finale was 3 hours. Like, you know, you're making notes. You don't even know what's going to matter. Yeah. Well, I guess that's it for Survivor.
Survivies.
Yeah, we had a fun time. 42 starts in March.
Wow.
We'll have to discuss if we're back for that. We'll have to see what's going on. Yeah, super fun. All right. Well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's
Woohoo!
yeah,
Changeover.
yeah, why not? Why not? Let's switch it up. Let's do what we're supposed to and make it look nice. Let's make it look nice, and we'll run this guy. Why not?
I was not ready for a new title sequence.
Let's switch over nice. Let's make it
really
correct. Let's make it correct for finales. All right. So Challenge 37 also wrapped up in what was, in my humble opinion, one of the worst finals we've seen. Yeah, I was pretty disappointed.
I mean, I was happy with the outcome, like, you know, in terms of the people I was rooting for, but
yeah. I mean, I'm happy with who won of who was left. I mean, I don't think we were, you know, I really didn't, I just didn't like who we were left with. These are not your top people. Like
who? Well, I mean, some of them were good though, right? Like, who did you not care to see in the final?
I didn't really care to see Kyle in the final. I never need to see Kyle in a final. Nani in a final doesn't really do a lot for me either.
Yeah. She was talking a lot about like, oh, my experience in finals and
your experience in finals. I mean, it's not a spoiler alert. We've been told all season, this is your 11th season. You've walked away with no wins. So I think that tells you, like, we don't, you know, what we come to expect from Nani. Like, not in a mean way.
Has she been in finals before? Because the way that it was being talked about, I assumed she had not been in a final.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even remember if she's been in a final. I know she's always gotten very, very close. Did she ever actually make it into one? I can't say.
I'll tell you.
I know she's always gotten like deep in the game though. She's never like your first couple people out. She usually makes it in a while. But...
Okay, this was her third final.
Okay, so there
she was in the final for free agents and double agents also. And then Spies, Lies, and Allies this year.
So only since we started this agent trilogy thing, has she really like stepped up and still hasn't come out with the W. I think
I do feel like there's been a lot of team type finals and groups and stuff too, and I think that might have something, you know.
Yeah, not yet. Yes, I think that has something to do with why she finds herself there, as why she wasn't finding herself there in the past. Yeah. But I think the most offensive effort came to us by way of Nelson, and that was really just even early on. Okay, this is his 8th season. It has always been a thing that Nelson cannot swim. And so for all the stuff that you talk about what people should be doing in their off season, and they should be training and they should be this and they should be that, the fact that the safety crew had to come and extract you from the water is an embarrassment. Like,
yeah,
I couldn't believe what I was looking at.
No, you're so right. And I was disappointed watching it because like Nelson and Corey too are guys that I've rooted for on this game. Like, but I feel like you, just like you said, Nelson, like you've been on this show how many years? Like, go take some swimming lessons. Like, I'm sorry, man, you're playing a game for $1 million, and he gets on people all the time about fitness and being in shape and all this. Like, he gets on other people. It's like your team was counting on you to swim.
Yeah. That's what I was
really
say,
that
like,
much of a distance.
He's talked so much shit about everybody else all season, about how he deserves to be there more than literally everybody else. And when it's down to the wire in the final, you're like, oops. I did a bad thing.
Glove. Like, are you kidding?
In his little like confessional moment after, he was like, "Yeah, sorry. What are you gonna do?" It's like you've been shitting on everybody all season.
Yeah, every time you come up short, it's like, "Oh, sorry, I'm sorry." But if somebody else comes up short, it's so unacceptable. What is this? What is this? Like all the crap that he was talking about, Big T and all this other stuff. Like, yep.
And like it started before he even got in the water. Like before they even started getting in the water, he was looking around like, "What? No life vests? No life vests?"
Yeah, a life vest.
Because they were already like all the way out, and they were like, "Where is Nelson?" And he's just like sitting on like the side of the thing. It's like,
just ridiculous.
And like, and you know what's funny too is that like in the earlier portion of the final too, everybody was having to be like, "Nelson, chill out, man." Like the final started 5 minutes ago. we run 100 yards. Like,
Yeah.
it's literally there's 2 days of this. Like,
yeah, he wants it so bad, but like he is just for somebody who wants it so bad, I can't understand why he wouldn't just go down to the Y and get some swimming lessons.
Oh man, you know,
not this notion.
Oh yeah, always this notion. Absolutely that, because I could have swam that. I mean, you can't swim in open water at all, like nothing. You can't even tread water enough to not drown.
Right.
Safety crew.
Especially here's
I mean, I can't swim, so I can't really speak on this.
No, but that's
you can
very
speak
different.
on it though, because you know why you can speak on it? Because you're a podcaster and a performer.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not on the challenge.
That's right. That's right.
And that's exactly why I know what I can't do, and it's
right.
swim.
And this
so
man,
I'm not gonna put myself in a position.
Exactly. Not only he's put himself there 8 times.
Yeah, 8 years.
No,
8
he's
years
gonna
of
have
this.
to swim. Yes, yes.
There's always water challenges. Always challenges in the water. Always.
Every final has some water aspect to it.
Yep.
That I can remember anyway. Well, except that weird season. Was that Battle of the Bloodlines or something when they were
that when they were like biking and stuff?
Yeah,
and
running around the city or something.
Circles, right?
I'm sorry. Actually, I need to take back what I just said. This was not the worst final because that was. I couldn't believe. I didn't know what I was looking at. That was a disaster. But yeah. So anyway, so there's that. All right. So how did this go now? This it started with the orange and purple cell, right? That wasn't happening.
They started kind of like individual. They had to.
Well, this episode though.
This episode. Yes.
This episode started, with the 2 cells.
Sorry, I'm an idiot.
You're not an idiot.
It's a very fair.
It's such a quick drop down. Like we're having a nice conversation, everything's fine. You said one wrong, and it wasn't even a wrong thing. Just we were talking about.
It was a very justifiable mistake.
Yeah, we were talking about 2 different beginnings, and all of a sudden, like we're just on this spiral. Happening here. So purple and orange. Purple had Devin, CT, Emmy, and Tori, and with orange, Casey, Nani, Kyle, and Nelson. So we had Nelson's flying out. Then we're pushing this ball down thing. Nelson lets that go.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
forgot that was too.
Way off there. That was Nelson's fault also, but by all means, who cares, right? Nelson did it, so it's fine. We have to give him a pass. But if Big T was there, he would have ripped our apart. Yeah, I don't know why Big T was always like the subject. I mean, it was that donut thing. The donut thing really hurt her credibility, like it did. But I don't know. I don't know why she's more wrong than anyone else, but whatever. Any hoosers. Yeah, so Nelson really shit the bed.
Hoosers.
Any hoosers. Nelson really shit the bed there. And then because Orange came in last, they had to now face off, which was the in final elimination we came to expect.
Which is exactly what Kyle was looking forward to, of Casey and Nani having to eliminate each other.
That's it. That's what I wanted. It's what I wanted. And this is where I feel like production sort of got it right, because you knew this moment was coming, which is why you were selling us them all season. Because I kept saying, why are we focusing so much on this? Like, who cares really? Although my opinion on this has changed a little bit. I'm not going to slam Casey and Nani as much as I have in the past. Because, all right, so obviously Casey eliminated Nani. But then Nani going on about how much more comfortable she is with her sexuality and everything, and how it's because of Casey, and that's she means so much to her and everything like that. I did have the thought, like, remember we were talking about Nani and how she had such an explosive personality and she's always fighting and all this other stuff. And she's been so calm since Casey. And I wonder if that was part of the reason why, like, she's just stepping into her own new womanhood and like this new person. I don't know. I had a very different experience with Nani. After seeing that and hearing that, what did you think? My heart was warmed.
No, I really liked it. I feel like Nani for a long time, like this is such a hyper competitive show. Like all these people are such they're great athletes, they're great competitors, and I felt like Nani, like we've even talked about, has in the past been kind of one of the weaker competitors. It was only her third final. She hasn't won. And I feel like when some of her explosive moments where she's had like issues with other competitors in the past, like I wonder if some of that like stemmed from just frustration of like not doing as well on the show and like not feeling like she had the support that was there. And I feel like she's really found like a safe place and like a home with Casey where like she can just feel like I am good enough, like I'm enough, and like I don't know if the competitors on the show in the past, like she has friends on the show, but like she's found something very special with Casey, I feel like. So
yeah, my opinion on that has changed. I still don't really know that we needed to see their date night. And they're sitting out in the water. I don't know why they were getting so favored. I've never seen that before. Production getting involved and making sure people have a date night. But I do really like I like everything she said, and I think it's great. I'd like to see them play the game together again.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, P.S. wouldn't mind seeing them together on The Amazing Race. I know you guys don't really care about that, but that is a natural progression.
I've never watched it. I've been meaning to.
Yeah,
I've just never watched it before.
That for sure would get me to watch. If they were on a season as a duo together, I would.
There's a couple of people from Big Brother that have made their way to The Amazing Race.
You've said
I saw only the finale of Jess and Cody's. I've seen nothing else.
Yeah, listen, it's worth a watch. It's not it's certainly nothing you ever would want a podcast about because like there's not a lot of like political strategy or anything like that to a little shade that you can kind of, but not enough to discuss. It really just is how well did you handle each challenge, but it's a fun watch.
Yeah,
it's not something you have to pay attention to super hard because there's not a lot of conversation. It's all just around the competitions. But Rachel Riley played with Brendan.
Ah, that's right.
That's what got me into it. Brendan. I do understand Janelle has played.
Nicole Franzel's played. Jess and Cody have played.
I'd rather watch for Jess and Cody. I don't need I'll skip Nicole Franzel. Yeah, we'll skip Nicole's season. That's all right. But I'm not that big a fan of The Amazing Race to be tuning in for her. Yeah. Did she play with Victor though?
I have no idea. I just know she was on it. And that's why like her and Janelle have like whatever. It's like something that had to do with The Amazing Race. I don't really fully know what happened
did they play together?
Maybe. I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know. I just know that like the reason they don't like each other is something that has to do with The Amazing Race.
Oh, I was not aware of. All right. Maybe I am interested in that to see what's going on. But I'm not watching as a fan. as long as people know that. Don't you count my view as a notch under Francis' belt. Okay? No. But we digress. The challenge. Sorry, that tangent was all my fault. So sorry. So where were we? So now Nelson and Kyle also had to face off. And the strong competitor Nelson falls to Kyle.
I felt like, listen, I know Kyle's a big, strong guy. Don't get me wrong, but Nelson, like the
he's so much taller than him. He got long legs.
He's got size. I just feel like even if in the first round he just put up a bigger fight, I felt like that competition was over almost as soon as it started. That's what it felt like, honestly. Like
kind of was.
And dude, like I feel like Nelson, all you do is work out, man. Like you're a strong guy. Like you're a physical specimen. Like. And he just gets taken down by Kyle twice in a row, like nothing. It felt like, I don't know. It was just weird to me.
No, I agree. I think Nelson does not what's the word? Put your money where your mouth is. Just doesn't do it. I don't know. I feel like he shits the bed a lot.
I mean, this episode in particular was just like fail after fail after fail. It's like, dude.
Even when he was doing well, like in the very beginning, when he was sprinting down that path, and he's like screaming like, "Let's go! It's the final!" And CT's like, "Dude, we have 2 days of this." Like, even when he was doing well, I was like, "Nelson, what are you doing, man?"
Right.
People have made comments that Nelson was like a little off the whole season, though. I feel like I had heard like somebody make a comment like that or something. I wonder if people are just having a rough time. It's COVID.
It's certainly possible.
Everyone's mental health is not what it is. It's just also just so strange because Nani, who's such a hothead, this is the calmest we've ever seen her.
I know.
And like in the middle of a global pandemic, she's like, I'm just like so happy to be myself. And I'm like, what is happening? It's like you're having the grand I don't know, reset like I did. I certainly calmed down.
It's definitely true. I think you're right, because I just feel like this whole season in general had a little bit of a weird vibe. It wasn't even just Nelson that seemed off to me.
It wasn't.
There were multiple people in this cast this year that felt like there's something weird with this person.
Yeah,
Devin, I thought was weird the whole time. You know, like
everybody was just like really like angry.
Yeah.
Kind of strange. Wow. All right, so then they carry on, and so then they had to pick up new partners and pair up. So Kyle selected Tori, Casey selected CT, leaving Devin with Emmy.
How do you feel about this?
About what specifically?
So I just felt like, you know, TJ made this big deal, like, you do not want to be on the losing team at the end of this first day, right? And it turned out like, yeah, you definitely don't want to be on the losing team because you're going to have to go into elimination in the middle of the final. But it almost became, in a way, like an advantage for Kyle and Casey being on the losing team. Like, Casey all of a sudden is teamed up with CT. Kyle all of a sudden is getting to pick Tori. I almost feel like, all right, you were the losing team. Great. You're still in the final. Good job. You won your elimination, but now you're paired together. Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like whoever's, you know, performing best in the final up to that point, like, they should be the ones that get to choose their partner or something. Not the people that were on the team that did so bad that they had to even fight for their right to still be here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought that was a little weird, because then I feel like, I felt like Tori in particular to me was performing very well in the final. And I feel like
she's stuck with stupid Kyle.
Right, exactly. Well,
she might have liked to be with Devin or something like that.
Right, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, it's supposed to be a disadvantage for the losing team because they now have to try to win and stay here. But like the winning team, the only benefit for them was that they didn't have to compete. They didn't get to pick their partners. They didn't know what was even coming next. Their team was just dissolved.
I didn't think about that. That's fair.
Yeah, like their team.
Didn't think.
Right,
you
like
know, I thought about it with Kyle and Tori, but I didn't think about. I didn't think about it that far. I agree with you.
You know what I mean? Like for Tori, and Devin and Emmy, like, yeah, CT, I would love to have Casey as my partner. So thanks.
Right.
But for Tori, Devin, and Emmy, this really disrupted their final after they were on the winning team.
Yeah, they were the ones that were doing well. I guess I just saw it as these are the people who lost the elimination. So now they get the extra little perk of getting, but I didn't think about how that affected.
Yeah.
We'll see. And it was fine for CT. So I guess that's why I didn't think about it too far. But Tori, yeah, that could she should get to choose who she wants. She was winning.
I feel like for CT, he was the only one that really benefited from being on the winning team, because I don't think that anybody on the rest of the purple cell ended up with a partner that they necessarily would have chosen, and they were on the winning team, and I think they should have had more of a say in that in the middle of the final.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. Actually, yeah.
So.
Honestly, all that really does for me is add another bullet point on the list of why this finale was not great.
I still have a list of things that I didn't like.
I mean, well, I also thought that we're almost at the end of this part, but like that last part of the challenge, just going up there and like memorizing the numbers and coming back down, such an anticlimactic.
I know.
I was like, that's it. So the vault opens and I was like, oh, so now what do they do with the diamond? Nothing. Right.
I felt cheated, honestly. I felt like we didn't get things. Like even the nighttime portion of it, they all just went to sleep.
Like, I like watching that, I was like, they were just telling me about how intense it gets there, and everybody was like, the night, and I was like, wow.
When they walked in the cave,
because you guys were just explaining to me how this works.
Oh, you're gonna be up there, and I'm like, wait, what do you mean we're gonna be up there? TJ's not coming. As soon as he wasn't coming, and then I'm like, this is gonna be crap. And they walked into the cave and like, oh, it's warm in here. What do you mean it's warm?
Yeah,
like
we all get sleeping bags, and it's like they're literally on a camp out.
Yeah,
and I felt like what
and they said as much.
Yeah. Like there was nothing to do while they were sleeping. They've had to ride bikes for like hundreds of miles before they were allowed to sleep before. They've had things where they had to hold like a 50-pound weight until their partner woke up so they could have a break and they could go to sleep. Like things like that, like, you know, really intense things. And
there was even a final where like not only did they have to hold those certain things, but remember like whatever order the pairs came in, you had like dwindling resources, right? So the first one to get there, they got to be like I think the first 2 teams, didn't they get to be in a cabin or something like that, where it was heated and it was beautiful.
Different accommodations.
Then yes, then other people, if you got there too late, you got sleeping bags out in the rain, or wasn't it like sleeping bags in like that in that cave at the ice? And it was dripping on them the whole time, and they were freezing, and some people didn't even get the sleeping bag. Other people got blankets, like if you got there last, so they were just freezing all night because it was wet. That's kind of like I was expecting you to like put these people through the ringer, and you just gave them a lit cave with sleeping bags and mats to go on top of it. Right. I don't know. Like all of a sudden, it's like Hotel the Challenge.
And there was no eating portion, which I was very disappointed about. That was a big.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah. Right.
That was a whole big thing between Casey and Fessy. That huge.
Oh, I do remember you talking about this.
Yes.
I just felt like we got very cheated. Yeah. And it seemed like, I mean, I know he always does this, but it seemed like TJ was really trying to hype up this final. Like this is going to be a really hard final, and I felt like they took like a run. They went for a swim. They carried a big missile on their shoulders, and then they did a race for a diamond, and it's over. I felt like it just didn't seem like there was really much. They didn't really do that much, I felt like, in a final.
And you know why I think that is? I think it's because these are not the competitors that we're used to seeing in like a proper final. Like, I don't know that you could have put these people through those things. And that's why we ended up with this. And it just kind of makes you go back to some of those conversations we had before. Like, where are the Paulies of the world? Like Paulie, Cara Maria, remember Theo, Georgia, even Bear. Now, I know that we're not going to see Georgia and Bear back for other reasons. I know we're not seeing them again. We have a question here. Have you guys ever seen Brazilian Big Brother?
We have not.
No, we haven't. And we would love to watch it. Okay. We love all variations of Big Brother. So if you know of a way that we can watch it, please let us know. Hit us in the socials or something. We are dying to find out how we can watch some international things. We've been lobbying to Paramount Plus to help us, to no avail. So you can please help us. Like, we're definitely down. I would love to be watching some other Big Brothers, especially now that we see that Australian Survivor popped up in Paramount Plus. We see that Survivor New Zealand is on there. I just find it an egregious offense that Big Brother has not done the same thing. Where's Canada? Where's Nigeria?
Give us BB Can.
Give us something, because now we know it can be done. So stop playing games. It's sitting on someone's masters somewhere. So just hit upload. I don't know. It stinks. I really hate it. So where were we? That got me really excited.
So we were talking about the overnight, and then I kind of derailed us by talking about no eating, and we didn't have but
I don't think that's a derailment. We're talking about how this final didn't really live up to our expectations.
Oh, you were talking about like how past players, we didn't see the right kind of players for those finals.
Oh, right. We're missing certain people that would have made this a little bit stronger. I know we're not going to see Georgia and Bear again after the allegations against Bear. We're definitely never going to see Bear again. Fine. But there are still like other like athletes out there that would have made this a little bit more interesting.
You think it's just boring personalities that ended up in the final, and that's why it was lackluster?
I think personality-wise, these are some fun people. They gave us
I think so too.
But personality-wise, I think it's great. They're just not really like the same like athletes that we're used to seeing in the challenge. They still make good TV. Like I'm not saying I don't want to see these people again in the future, but they should go out sooner or figure something else out. I don't know.
I feel like there was like, I don't know if it was like half and half necessarily, but I feel like, seeing CT, Casey, Tori, in the final, like those are some, like good competitors and like athletes and challengers. But you're right that it was definitely weighed down. Emmy, I like Emmy too. I like seeing her in the final.
I like seeing her in the final. I just,
yeah, I don't know.
I'm just not at a point where I'm super excited about Emmy. Like I like her, but I'm not like super excited. Like Casey does make me excited. Tori excites me.
Yeah.
I mean, even Nani excites me more than Emmy because at least I have a history with her.
Right.
Yeah.
And like I did once. I wanted to root for Kyle at times because like they made a point to say that like he has this baby on the way. Listen, I'm saying I wanted to. I'm not saying I was. I'm saying I wanted to because they did try to like bring in the story of him having the kid. And he's been on the show for a while. So I wanted to root for him, but like I just
feel like that's like a bait and switch for people who don't know him. Like for people like Gina who just came into this for the very first time, you'd be like, "Oh, okay, I have a nice story." Yeah. No, Kyle just sucks, man. He sucks.
I don't know. I just like those human, stories. Like it's a guy that we've known for a while. He's been on the show a long time. Like he's kind of like a doofus, but like he's had some fun moments. And he's got a kid on the way. Like, yeah, sure, I want to root for you, but he just makes it hard. He makes it hard. But
we didn't talk about one big thing here though. This final did come with a big twist with the prize money, right? The winners got to decide if they were going to be sharing any of it. And they did. Everybody goes home with 100K. Well, 50.
Yeah.
Right? It was 50, yeah.
Yeah.
They each got they gave the other losing teams 100K each, and then they kept 800.
I think that's very nice of them. That's very nice.
Yeah.
They didn't bother doing it on a sliding scale. They just said, everybody just gets this. Thank you very much.
Yeah. There was a very different tone to the end of this compared to when Ashley, Millionaire Mitchell, made her decision.
Well, as soon as he said that was going to be a twist, when I remembered that happened, I was like, uh-oh, like something's going to happen.
Yeah.
I like this.
I don't, but even if it came down to that and it was going to be like CT and Casey had to decide how that was, I think he would have split it with her and I think she would have split it with him. I don't think
I do too.
Yeah, I think that the way that they both are and they had no beef with each other to begin with, and they're both kind of honest anyway, like in that regard. I think they would have just split it evenly anyway. That wouldn't even been.
I think you're right.
A momentous thing. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But I like that. I think, I don't know, just promotes like good positive vibes.
Good sportsmanship.
Yeah, I liked it.
On a show where we see a lot of backstabbing and betrayal. And so that was a really nice moment.
It was.
And I'm like, I felt like you could see that, like, I think this will go a long way in the future for this group of 6. You know what I mean? Like on future seasons, I think that.
Yes, I can at least say that. You can give that to the final. It had a nice end.
Classy ending.
And hopefully it can set the stage for something exciting later on. Yeah.
Can we talk for a second too? Just about how crazy talented and like athletic CT is. The oldest guy there by like a mile, and they just won. And Casey's like on the ground, like dying, like and CT's like, "Get up, we just won $1 million." like all these people are exhausted. This guy
is fully down for the count. He's like, "Get up!"
Like, even in the portions where like Devin was like having a lot of trouble with his endurance, like CT's like running in circles around him, like making fun of him. Like this guy, you just can't stop him. Mm-hmm. Like it's absolutely insane how and I knew this season he came in and he looked like he's really been working out.
Oh yeah, because when he returned to when he returned to the challenge, he definitely was rocking the dad bod. But like not in a bad way. Like we were here for it. Okay. Yeah. But he definitely had like put on some and just wasn't as fit.
I think he was having this season a lot of back problems too.
Yeah, he was. He came into this though like a beast. But that's kind of speaks to the whole Nelson thing too. It's like that is what you're supposed to be doing in the off season.
Right.
That is what you keep telling everybody else that they should be doing in the off season. However, safety crew.
He literally won an entire challenge by himself. By himself.
Yeah. No, he's ridiculous.
As he navigated above the water with such aplomb. Yeah, he's great. He is great. But it almost makes me not want to see him again. Or at least not next season. Like
Right.
I'm getting bored of it. Like,
you know what? I could see him taking at least a year off, even in some of those calls. Yeah, with his wife and his kid, or whatever, and him saying like, "Should I come home?" He's like, "All right, how about I win another $1 million first?" You know, like it almost seemed like, all right, he's ready to spend time at home. I feel like,
yeah.
And he made a bunch of comments like, "I've never won back to back. I'd love to do that." Now he has. He's got 5 wins. You know, like I could see him taking a couple, a year or 2 off. I do want to see him back, but I mean, if he starts taking a couple years off, then he's going to start really getting up there in age.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a couple of years. Can we just get like one season or something? Like, I just don't need the CT steamroll again, unless you're going to bring in some of those other competitors, like people who can actually compete on his level, because there are people out there that can give him a run for his money. We just are not seeing them anymore.
He was by far he was in every category to me.
On another level.
Top performer compared to everybody else that was on the show this year.
Mm-hmm.
He was just at a whole other level.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Well, that's it. That's challenge 37.
I do have a question. I brought this up the last time we were on. If
you did. I forgot about this.
and like, if you didn't think about it, totally cool.
I totally forgot you brought this up.
Off the cuff, yeah. But I'm curious because the show this season was called The Challenge: Spies, Lies, and Allies. And I'd like to see if you guys have any ideas on who you think was the biggest spy, the biggest liar, and the biggest ally in the house.
Yeah, I forgot about this question because in between I got COVID. So
that's definitely
I don't remember anything. So let's see.
I can tell you, I already have my 3. So if you want,
you have your 3. So you start with yours.
So I don't even know. I don't even know if I think this is true, but I was trying to think. So for spy, for some reason, CT kept coming to my mind. And the reason is because I feel like he's the type of guy that like he's vocal and everybody knows he's there, but he doesn't really ever seem like he's the one actually pulling all the strings, making the moves. But it seems like he always has some sort of hand in it. He always knows what's going on. So like I felt like CT to me gives like that spy vibe on where like he doesn't seem like he's doing anything, but like he's actually pulling a lot of strings. You know what I mean?
Okay.
For liar, I went with Kyle.
Oh,
that's a given.
That's
I feel like any other answer is wrong.
It is.
And for ally, I went with Emmy actually, because I feel like Emmy is like so passionate and so like whether it was for Emmanuel or for her uncle CT. Or anybody that she at any point got closer to on the show, I feel like she would have gone to war for. That's just like the vibe I get off of Emmy. It's like if you are one of her people, she will die for you. Like that. That's like the vibe I get.
You even think of like that last elimination where like Emmanuel was the clear choice that everyone was going for, and she was like, no, not voting for him. Sorry.
No, not doing it.
Like she's the type of person that strikes me as even if it's bad for her game, she will never go against somebody that's on her side. So that's my spy, liar, and ally.
I should have given this more thought.
That's all right. I mean,
it's hard. I initially was going to say Casey for ally.
That's what I was thinking at first too.
But then as you gave your reasoning for why you selected Emmy, I don't know that I can back Casey on the same criteria because she absolutely threw Emmanuel under the bus. However, she did ride always for Nani. I think it depends on how you want to stretch it, because who else is a very loyal person when you're on his side, and I hate to say it, is Nelson.
It's true.
Because Nelson, and maybe not so much, it wasn't as apparent like in this season, but like the way that he rides and supports Corey like unconditionally, I think there's something to be said for that.
I mean, I feel like, and again, you've seen more of the challenge than me, so maybe I am wrong, but like, and I know you're gonna laugh as soon as I say the name, Josh.
As an ally? I was thinking about him too, honestly. I was. He's another one of those people that's just, like he's another one of those people.
I ride hard for Josh, but like.
Yeah, but you're right about that though, because he also rides hard for his people. anytime somebody's trying to come for like the Big Brother Alliance or anything like that, he absolutely tries to protect that and preserve that.
Yeah.
I support that. Sure. I
see them both. And Josh is someone that I thought of too, because like I think of Josh and Emmy as both of them very emotional people. And I feel like they're very passionate. They love like, the people that are in their circle. They love them, and they're very, very serious about it. And if you cross any of those people, like they're going to take it very personally, even if you didn't actually do it to them. Josh and Emmy strike me specifically, those two, as like that type of person.
Agreed. Now, as far as who's spying?
Yeah, that one's hard. I don't know why.
That one is hard. That one is hard because that that requires.
It is hard.
Because unfortunately, I think some of the spying and the lying is intertwined.
Yeah. I mean, do we all want to just agree that Kyle's the biggest liar?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I thought we already did. I wasn't even talking. I wasn't even thinking about that anymore. Oh yeah, no. We all agreed. I think we said across the board.
So you guys are just trying to pick your spy?
Yeah, I'm trying to pick my spy.
And don't limit yourself. I know that a lot of people have left a long time ago. If you want to pick like Anissa or something, like do it.
Anissa didn't do anything.
I'm not saying that you have to pick her. I'm just saying like throwing it out.
No, I know. I just because her name came up, I figured I'd just throw some opinion on it and just say, like she wasn't really in long enough to really have like any kind of an opinion about her.
Yeah.
If anything, I need to look at just look at the cast list again. Just like for another.
It's so much harder. I don't know why.
Yeah, that one's hard.
I thought about Tori as a spy because I felt like she was riding so hard for Emerald at one point and then tried to help orchestrate that plan to like have Sapphire and Ruby team up on Emerald, and Devin was pissed. So I thought about her for that, but I ended up going with CT.
Yeah, it's kind of hard because I don't feel like there was a lot of like, I don't remember any clear moments where like people got like information or something and like from sneaking around or like looking around and then like kind of like shared it or like blew up somebody's spot. Like I don't remember like really seeing like a situation like that this season. Like I feel like
I'm trying to remember like that big Ashley blowout and like what the deal with that, because that was the only one that I really remember being like going back to like past seasons and like he said she said, but I can't remember who was behind all that.
If anything, the only other person that I could put on that would be like Amanda. Just because she was just, I just feel like she was always involved in a lot of different things. Anytime there was any kind of conflict, Amanda was around it, like in one way or another. Even in groups of people that she was not associated with, like she's just always around, just causing chaos. So like, I guess I would have to go with her.
Okay.
But yeah, hard question because like this was a much more like almost honest game.
Oh, I think I'm thinking of what's his name? Corey, is it?
There was a Corey, yes, Corey, Nelson's friend.
I think that's who I was thinking of, but I don't know if I have like enough of a reason to think that other than like I remember everybody blowing up at him. Like I can't remember why. I just remember him being like at the center of something.
Actually, you know what? That's a good one, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because there was this huge vet alliance that dominated the early part of the season.
You know what? I stand by my answer.
No, I like that a lot. That's a really good one, actually, because there was this huge vet alliance, and then all of a sudden, right, the big vet complaint about Corey was that like this guy's working with the rookies. No, that's a really good one. That's a
great one. Very good. Nice.
I totally didn't stumble into that by accident. It's exactly what I meant to say, and I stand by it.
And thank you very much. I'm brilliant. Thank you.
I'm perfect and great.
And there's that.
So funny. All right.
Great.
I feel like we didn't get a lot of the spy moments, like you were saying. Like we didn't really get much. It seemed like an honest game. I think that had to do with the fact that we were in cells, because like if your team loses, you're in danger. So, like, you don't want to lose. Like, you're not going to conspire with a different cell to help them win,
Right.
putting yourself in danger. Like,
which I would really like to stop playing so many group things.
Yeah.
I want more individual stuff. Like the way like All Stars is played.
Yeah.
Because even though those are two separate teams, I really like the whole like, oh, you've got to select a team captain. So if your team loses, then you're automatically in elimination. That's fun. Because it just mixes everything up. You can intentionally throw something if you want your captain to go in. Like
right.
It's group, but it's still more individual than this. Yeah. Trickies.
You know, how did you? I swear this is the last thing. I just thought of this though. But the format of this final, you weren't a fan of it, right? With the teams and elimination. See, tell me what you think about this. I feel like I don't like the order that they did things in. I would be okay. Personally, I would be okay. I think if this final had started off in 2 teams that then had to like cannibalize each other and compete in an elimination. And then it either broke down into pairs or individual or something like that. I didn't like that we started everybody's individual. Now you're in teams, but now you have pairs. Like, I just felt like let's start in teams of 4, and then as we have eliminations and we start cutting people off, now you're working in groups of 2, or you're working alone. You know, like, why are we going from an individual to a team to a pair? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it would have made it. I think it would have made it more palatable to do it in a better order. But like, we just had an entire season of all teams.
Right.
Right. Yes, people are making individual decisions about like where they want to be and where this, and it's like, but I just wish that wasn't part of the conversation all the time.
Right. I agree with that. I agree.
Yeah. Because I don't like those moments. While I understand, I'm not saying it wasn't like a good move, but like Amanda, when she was moved, what was it? She came off Ruby and went to Emerald, and it's like, oh, you don't want to work with me? Then I'm just gonna make sure we lose. I don't like that. And like, I understand, I guess, like the motivation behind it and like why she did it, but I just don't like that it's an option. Because now you're negatively affecting somebody else's game with your temper tantrum. Like, because she certainly didn't pull that on a week where it was a female elimination. You did it when the men were in danger.
Yeah,
and
that's
like,
true.
People shouldn't have that much control. That's all. I'm over the team thing.
I would
definitely
do pairs.
Play pairs again.
I want a season of all pairs or all individual or something. Or I don't want to see teams next season.
Yeah, and I think you get more of a political aspect with things.
Yeah.
The social game is so much more heightened when you're playing an individual game.
Absolutely, it opens everything up.
It does. Like, you know, like, especially when you compare it to like Survivor, it's like the game really starts once you get to the merge.
Yeah.
So why are we going to create a game where we don't ever go solo? Yes, there's a solo aspect with how we move ourselves around, but
right. I feel like when you have pairs, like pairs, or you're working solo, like there's so much more opportunity for like surprises, you know, like, because you never know which direction people are going to think, like, oh, this might be my best route. Like when you're locked in on a team, like your mind state is totally, it's stuck with that team. Like I have these are my teammates. I have to go this way. I have to do
what's
this.
the best thing for the team? What's the best thing for the team?
Right.
And it's like, those aren't the conversations I want to listen to anymore.
Yeah.
It's fun for a while, but now I'm ready for individual.
Yeah. I agree. All right.
Ooh, okay.
I think that's all I had for the challenge.
That's all I have for the challenge too.
Yeah.
Jeans?
That's all I got.
Well, how did you like this season? This is the first full season you watched, right?
This is the first anything I watched. I haven't even seen like episodes of past seasons.
So now that we're at the end, what's your opinion?
Well, after you have slammed how bad it is compared to other seasons, I
just thought the finale was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I thought it was a pretty good season overall.
Overall, yeah, absolutely. I think the finale was just a little lacking.
I actually think it started off really strong and got worse as we went on. Like, it wasn't even like the final was disappointing, but there was something about the last few weeks that, like, I don't know. The show, I don't know if it was because of COVID, people going home because of injuries,
Well, I mean,
or because
I feel
of whatever.
like even
but
like there were so many times that we would come on here and be like, "Oh yeah, like that competition." I don't know. I was like doing other stuff while that was on. I wasn't really paying attention. Like we said that so many times about like so many of these competitions that we were like, "Oh, that was on while I was cleaning," so like I didn't really watch it. You know?
Yeah.
It's and even that is weird to me too, because I feel like we did also talk about a lot of some of the challenges and the games they had this year were good, and like they were twists on previous games. It seems like there were a lot of times where they were like really hitting the nail on the head, and then other times, like if they weren't nailing it, they were just doing a terrible job. It wasn't like it was like, oh, it's where they're nailing it, or it's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Well, for me, these competitions didn't matter as much because these are all team things. I don't need to watch any of it. Just let me know how it turns out, because that's what actually matters.
Yeah.
I don't care about anybody's individual performance, because, like, you know, one person can suck in this competition, but like if the other 5 are good, then the team is going to be good. I don't need to watch this then.
Right.
The only times that things got interesting for me in those situations were like when, you know, Kyle would make a decision that was selfish and like eliminate a friend on another team or something. Only those situations were interesting, but they would have been interesting if you played an individual game anyway. So, yeah, that didn't do anything for me.
I agree.
All right. Well, we don't have anything coming up. I guess we'll just have to. We're waiting for Celebrity Big Brother, right? Maybe when the cast announcement comes out,
we'll
do emergency live.
An emergency live.
Wherever in the world we are, that's where we'll
doesn't
be.
matter. Drop it all so that we can discuss the cast list. Yeah, I don't have anything else.
Yeah, me either. It's it's so weird because I feel like we not that long ago we were in a period we were watching like 3 or 4 different shows at the same time, and now there's just Survivor's over, Challenge is over,
everything ended at the same time.
So
now it's quiet. Well, like a little hiatus.
Yeah, it gives us a little holiday break.
We'll have our emergency live sometime in January to discuss the cast list, and then we still have Celeb in February.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. This has been Jury Duty. All right. I would say like, subscribe, share with a friend, but we're not going to be around for a little while. I mean, I guess still do so. Tell somebody about us. We're coming back. We're coming eventually. We're coming back eventually. But thanks for hanging.